Man, now, Errol the Truth Spence Jr. admits that his discipline started to wane in some of his big important fights, but it looks like mentally he's back, and we're going to talk about that. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Also, subscribe to my channel for the latest and greatest in boxing. If you want to become part of the gang, notification gang, please hit the bell icon. Shout out to the super chats, channel donations, the Venmo donations, the Cash App, and the Patreon family we work in. Head over to my Patreon, link in the description. It does help the channel continue to grow. Buy nice microphones like this so I can do a little bit of this and a little bit of this. Let's talk about it. Man down. Errol Spence Jr., he released a series of tweets on his verified account. He's 25-0, 21 knockouts. He the man, and he back. And he's posted some recent videos and stuff. He announced his fight with Danny Garcia for November. I, for one, am looking forward to it. Much respect to Danny Garcia for taking it. Much respect to Errol Spence for taking it. I think it could be interesting. I don't know if they're going to do press conferences and stuff, but Angel Garcia sometimes gets hot-headed. I know Derek James, he ain't no punk either. So, you know, that could get interesting. Clash of personalities and stuff like that. And then also with Danny and then Errol. You know, this is a long time coming. There was a point where Errol Spence was really the boogeyman of the division, and he had to keep barking up that tree to get his opportunities. People kept fronting Errol Spence off before he became a champion, but he had a good track, and he had a lot of, a lot of people vouching for him. Floyd Mayweather, guys who had sparred him, like Adrian Broner. You know, just a lot of industry people that I've interviewed, and they said, watch out for this kid. And, you know, I started hearing a lot about him. So, needless to say, Errol Spence, more modern times, he called out people and couldn't get those fights. Now his brand is big enough. He's the man in the division. To me, he's the man to beat. That's no disrespect to Bud Crawford. I've taken the trip to Omaha several times. I really like Bud Crawford. He a dog. He's a great fighter, but he's aligned with Top Rank, and just they haven't rolled out the red carpet treatment, in my opinion, for Bud Crawford. You look at guys like Tyson Fury. He came way after Crawford had signed with Top Rank. Top Rank just recently put the Top Rank debut, Bud's debut, when he had the dreads. He's back growing his hair out, but when he first signed to Top Rank, they just recently put that back up on YouTube, and I just watched it. It was a crazy knockout. And he's been with them for a while. And then Tyson Fury just came after the Top Rank kind of clout chased the Wilder Fury success and the dramatics of the fight. And they kind of clout chased that and signed him after and gave him Tyson Fury this lucrative deal. And meanwhile, Tyson Fury, he has a lot of issues, failed drug tests and other stuff he's involved with, Glovegate 1 and 2, outside of the ring. And you got a guy who's, just a student of the game like Terence Crawford, but he don't get the same type of love. Plus, he has one belt versus Errol Spence. Not only has two belts, but he's had the bigger events. Crawford does great in Omaha, but some of the positions and fights that are put together, he hasn't been able to shine with the same type of numbers and stuff like Errol Spence. Mikey, that was an event. It was crazy. It was like 50,000, 51,000 or something. But on this ride to the top, Errol Spence, he faced his own like demons or whatever you want to call it, problems, and he's kind of using his platform and speaking out on some of it. And I think it's interesting, so I want to talk about it. I made a video about this. He said all these so-called boxing experts getting screenshotted. Wait till November 21st is over. That's the date of his Danny Garcia fight. He responded to Linder Ellaby. He said, we gonna trade in them fresh suits and ties you wear every day for some boots and Wranglers. Let me know when you're ready. Oh, so he on his country boy stuff. He says, now this is interesting. Easy to get in trouble when you have time and money to do what you want. And everyone knows the infamous car wreck and stuff like that. Now this is telling because it's a little bit more detailed. Make sure you guys smash the like button. If you're new, I drop daily content on boxing. I do live streams. Normally I go to the fights and cover the fights. We're in the pandemic, so all that stuff is real limited. So I'm getting the itchy trigger finger. I want to come back, but everybody got to come back safe. We're in a crazy time. So, for now, I'm going back to where I started. This is my roots in this game. I wasn't covering fights and stuff. So I'm just going back to my roots. It's like Eminem going back to battle rap or something. Even though he did the industry stuff and released albums, he could still go back to the hip hop shops and whatnot and rock the mic, on some cypher shit. That's me. So this is my backyard. This is what I'm used to. Errol Spence said, I had stopped going to the gym like I used to, which kept me out of a lot of BS. He said, I went from taking a couple days off after my fights to a week, and then that graduated to 2 weeks to a month until I got a fight date. So from Errol Spence's own admission, he is telling you he went from taking, having a fight, Chris Algieri or whoever, and taking a couple days off directly after the fight to, I'll just take a week. Then that week grew to 2 weeks. Then that 2 weeks grew to a month. Then he started only training probably when he got that phone call. His manager, his team, his trainer, whoever says, hey, we got that fight over the line. And then he'll start training. So I think Errol Spence, what he's talking about, I commend him. There's a lot of people in the comment section saying this, that, and the third. You on my channel, so you're here from my perspective. I commend Errol Spence. Some people are saying, oh, why do you admit this? And, you fell off. They're using it. Errol Spence, see, this is what I don't understand about this social media age. I really don't. That's why I come in, I make my money on social media and on the internet, and then I bounce. I'm not no internet dude. I'm a real person, And one thing I don't understand is, I don't know if Errol's like this, but I would imagine most stand-up people are. But like for me, the world gets to see online what I show them. No more, no less. So if Errol Spence didn't want this information out there, then he didn't have to tweet this. So people, I don't think, Errol Spence is like so slow where if he wasn't on his ish, he would put out the chinks in his armor. You know what I'm saying? I don't think he would put out something that makes him feel vulnerable if it was still a current vulnerability that he was dealing with. And he has just announced his big fight with Danny Garcia. Again, I'm not the smartest brother in the world, but to me, that don't make sense. So a lot of the comments were kind of stupid. People were saying, oh, you fell off. And look, someone said, bruh, what the F you on? And Errol Spence responded to that. He said, I had, motherfucker. You know what I mean? And it's like people were like overly judging him for this admission, and he's telling you what he did wrong. So I believe he's trying to get right. I don't think he would be saying that if he was still struggling. It looks like he bought a farm after the accident that sometimes when people have that come to Jesus talk, like, bro, he could have lost his life in that accident. Maybe that's all it took for him to reroute his plans and be like, whoa, we got to get back focused, got to what got us here. So I don't really have a problem with Errol being honest because he's making M's. He's about to make more M's. We got to see how he looks versus Danny Garcia, first fight back. But this is a real life story that a lot of boxers go through, a lot of boxers went through, and it ain't going to change. That's just human nature. It's not even just boxing, but boxing's near and dear to my heart. So, that's why I'm focusing on that. But I like other sports too. And I'm sure it's just athletes in general. You come from impoverished areas. You come from the hood. You come from the ghettos and slums and, just areas where you never had a chance. You didn't get Christmas presents and stuff like that to making millions. You might make some mistakes along the way. Look at Mike Tyson. Look at Zab Judah. All the talent in the world, but certain demons, you keep the wrong crowd around you and you keep the wrong women around you, all types of stuff. So I don't really have a problem with Errol Spence saying this. Someone said a focused EJ with strength and conditioning is a lethal fighter. Bro, I'm just being real. I like to, do my spill. I'm just being real. But you know what is impressive here, and I'm not trying to condone not being disciplined. You should always be disciplined. But I'm not God. I can't, you know what I'm saying? I'm not here to just judge over every mortal and mistakes that people made, because at the end of the day, we could look at anybody's life. You could look at my life. It ain't been peachy keen where I ain't never made no mistakes or had to get my ass in gear, you know, and like shape up. So what do I look like judging Errol Spence overly for this self-admission, you know, and confession about, for a minute he was feeling himself or whatever, and he lost some discipline, you know? But as a black man, I would like to see him bounce back, to learn the lesson. You know, who wants to see somebody plummet all the way to the bottom? I love a good underdog story, which is I've always said on my channel, you know what I'm saying? So I'm rooting for him. It's nothing against Danny Garcia. I like Danny Garcia. It made a best man win, but I do like a good underdog story. You know, I like that people can show, you can reach the depths of despair and make bad decisions. You know, I know people that went to prison for years, and they make more money than you. You know what I'm saying? They make more money than you and your parents out of prison, because whatever they learned while institutionalized, they use that angst and energy, and then when released, they applied it to something fruitful and positive. Now they're taking care of their families and stuff like that. So, you know, I dig it. We all make mistakes in some form or fashion. See, the people you really got to watch out. This is new media, so I give you guys that raw, that uncut, that puro, that cocaína. That's what I give you on my channel. So I'm not here to like give you this fake world, you know, cookie cutter. Life is not like that, you know. Errol Spence, he's admitting where he came up short. But the thing that is impressive is that if we were watching the 86% Errol Spence, what is he going to be if he's a champion? You know, he went through what he went through with the accident. And if he gets back to that 95%, that 100%, you see what I'm saying? If he's beating Sean Porter and Mikey Garcia on 86%, I'm just throwing a percent. He didn't say what percentage, but if he stopped slowly getting all of this stuff, sounds like he started losing his discipline. You see what I'm saying? It started slowly gravitating to, I'm out the gym for a week, then 2 weeks, then a month, then I'm out the gym the whole time until my next fight is announced. And then I start doing a fat camp, you know? So if he's already in shape now, so you already ahead of the curve. I like it. I love it. Danny Garcia it still hasn't been officially announced by PBC, and he already lean. Danny Garcia looks like he's in good shape. So to me, that's stipulating that we might got a good fight on our hands. So I love it. I love it. But I did notice that. I look at you can't do stuff. You don't want to abuse your body too much. When you're young, your body's pliable. You can get away with certain things, you know. And I noticed Errol Spence, when he was fighting Chris Algieri, I got footage because I sent my writer at the time to the fight, and he covered that fight, the Algieri fight. Errol's back was just like, man, to your back, dog, to your back gone. No, that's Cassidy. But his back was just like plickety plat, like it was just ripped. You know what I'm saying? Roadmap. And he was like super diesel. But then if you look at the Mikey Garcia, because he probably had an more extreme weight cut, because he was letting self-admittedly, he's telling you, he was letting his weight increase too much, you know, to the 180s and 190s and stuff like that at a welterweight. He came in a pound under. He was like 146, and all he had to do is make 147. But now his weight, you know, you could get real targeted, because it's hard to explain. I don't want to go too deep into it, but if you're not 190, you know, whatever he was weighing, where you ballooned up in weight, then you have less weight to cut, and it's not really a fear of not making weight. So you can slowly taper down. Okay, I'm 30 days out from my fight. Cool. We got this amount of weight. Versus if you're 30 days out and you got this bulk weight that you have to cut, then you might have to do more extreme shit. And it's harder to almost gauge, because you might overshoot it saying, hey, I got to run the week before my fight, I got to run 9 miles because I still got to get this weight. So that's why his weight could come under 146, because he had to make sure he made that weight. That's his bag. You know what I mean? He had to make sure he made his weight. And, your body does weird stuff when you deplete a lot of weight and muscle, late. You get dehydrated, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So if he's maintaining his weight to the point where he has to lose weight, like look at Conor McGregor. He's a perfect example. Some of these UFC fighters do the craziest weight cuts. Jose Aldo, when he dropped back down in weight, when he went from featherweight down, late in his career, his first fight, he looked terrible on the scale. He looked like a skeleton. Just Google the pictures. You look at Conor McGregor at featherweight towards the end, he was like, and doing these faces and stuff, and he looked like a fucking Resident Evil. Like he was looking horrible, because I was hearing he was losing like 32 pounds. He had 32 pounds to lose on fight week. But again, if you keep your weight down, then you don't have to, it's not so extreme. It's not like, no one's trying to mess up their bag, so you don't have to be in the sauna for 14 hours or something ridiculous and dehydrate even more and wear a sauna suit and layer up and all this stuff and these scalding baths. You don't have to do so much. You see what I'm saying? So it's easier to slowly taper down. Here's an example. It's like, I could tell you this, not from, I'm not a boxer, but I could tell you this from just academics. You ever have a report, or like, let's say an essay, say you have a 7-page paper, 7-page essay that you have to write for English class. Your teacher messed around and gave you 3 weeks to do it, but you procrastinated. You had 3 weeks, but you were, macking on chicks and going on dates or whatever you was doing, kicking it with the homies, and you squandered the 3 weeks. Now, the night before the actual papers due on Friday and it's Thursday, now you got to do this crazy cram session and cram 3 weeks worth of work for the good students, the students that actually utilize the time that they had. You have to do this insane cram session all at the computer, where you start getting a headache from looking at the computer, and you're drinking a Mountain Dew trying to stay up and doing this cram session. You have to think about, you can't leave, eyes glued. You're getting tired, but you have to stay and work on it because you have to finish. You see what I'm saying? So that just creates more calamity than if you would have worked on the paper for those 3 weeks. And you did a rough draft, you proofread that, like most A students would do. You see what I'm saying? So I like Errol Spence. I like his honesty here, and I don't think people could really use that against him, because it sounds like he's not on that stuff no more, and he hasn't lost. So that's the other advantage he got working for him, is he hasn't lost. If he, sometimes people make mistakes and it takes an actual fall from grace, like in the ring, like in the form of an L, you get your ass whooped or something, and then you're like, oh man, I gotta switch trainers. Oh man, I gotta get my stuff together. Errol Spence is still the 2-belt champion. Ain't nobody at the welterweight division with more belts than him. So that's a benefit for him, because nobody whooped him in the ring. He had the car accident and stuff, but by the grace of God, he came out unscathed from what it sounded like. We'll see. But, nobody took that from him in the ring and made him pay for potential how am I going to say it? Potential discipline lapses, I guess is a good way to put it. I got caught up on my words. Yeah, potential lapses in your discipline. Nobody took advantage of that and whooped him. So he sounds like he's back on track. Let me know what you guys think. Errol Spence, he said he back on track. He ready to go. Let me know what you guys think. I'm looking forward to his fight. But, a lot of people, you could just look through some of the comments. Some people were like giving Errol such a hard time and saying, oh, why you fell off and you're not disciplined and your fault. Bro, he beat everybody he fought. So he right back. I ain't worried about it. Let me know what you guys think. Danny Garcia, Errol. I'll be talking about that on my channel a lot, because it's a fight I'm looking forward to. Can't wait till it's official from Fox. We get some content. check back with me. We'll be talking about this fight. As always, hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video is Ego signing off. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more sports. Get unlimited access to premium content with an ESPN Plus subscription. ESPN Plus offers a variety of content, including specials, behind the scenes, docuseries like Bruce Lee's Be Water, and much more. With an ESPN Plus subscription, you get access to a ton of classic archive fights and replays from boxing and the UFC. Big names like, "Hi, I'm Mike Tyson. Come and watch my fight." Floyd Mayweather, "Easy work. I'm rich." And Manny Pacquiao, "Yes, it's up to my promoter. Just to name a few. If that's not enough, you could get the ESPN bundle, which includes ESPN Plus, Hulu, and Disney Plus. All 3 apps, one low price. You don't want to miss out. Make sure you guys click that link in the description box of all of my videos. Ego signing off. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button, and you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxing Ego, the future of boxing.